audit, right? So audit is just a specific word which we use for checking, verification, examination, right? Checking, verification, examination. And the word audit has been derived from the Latin word audere, which means to hear, which means to listen. And so ancient times, that is how, medieval times, that is how audit was conducted. And later on, obviously, now there is a revolutionary change regarding how the audit is conducted. So what did we say? Why the audit is conducted? To check the accounts, that purpose is the same. But how the audit is conducted, that has undergone a change over a period of time. Okay, right. And then we said just as to do accounting, there is an accounting software. Similarly, to do audit, there is the auditing software. The person who does the audit is called as the auditor, and the entity where he is doing the audit is called as either the client or could be called as the auditee. Right? So auditor, auditee, or it could be auditor, CA firm, practitioner, CA in practice, and the client, the entity. Right? And in preparation of financial statements in the organization, whose responsibility? It is the responsibility of the management. That management, they will prepare the financial statements. CA, when he will come for the audit, he is going to audit the financial statements. And when an audit of the financial statements is being conducted, that is called as a when CA is coming and doing an audit of the financial statements, that audit is called as a statutory audit. Exactly. That audit is called as a statutory audit. Why? Because it is an audit which is required under the law. And then one, management, they prepare the financial statements. And second, management, they also DIM. You remember DIM? Design, implement, and maintain the internal control system in the organization. Why? In order to PDC. You remember we talked about these terms yesterday? Design, implementation, maintenance, internal control system, prevent or detect and correct any fraud and error. For that, the management is designing, implementing, and maintaining the internal controls in the organization. Right? So again, design, implementation, and maintenance of internal controls in the organization, whose responsibility? It is the responsibility of the management. Right? So if the auditor is doing the audit of these internal control system, then that audit is called as the internal audit. Exactly. Then that audit is called as the internal audit. So we said that mainly there are these two audits. One is the statutory audit, and then there is the internal audit. There are hundreds of other varieties, but these are the two main audits that we are talking about over here. Right? Statutory audit and the internal audit. Right. Then we said just as to do accounting, there is the accounting standards which have been issued by the ICAI. Similarly, to do the audit, the ICAI has issued the standards on auditing, which is one of the branch of the standards on auditing is one of the branch of the wonderful engagement and quality control standards, EQCS. How many EQCS are there? How many engagement and quality control standards? 46 engagement and quality control standards. Okay. Engagement and quality control. So quality control, we have one standard, SQC1. And apart from that, for engagement, what are the types of engagement that the CA can perform? Right? What are the types of engagement that the CA can perform? Audit, review, assurance engagement other than audit or review, or other than assurance engagement, he can do the non-assurance engagement, which is also called as the non-assurance engagement, which is also called as the related services. Exactly. Standards on related services. So what are the four types of engagement standards which are there? What are the four types of the engagement standards? Right? Standards on auditing. How many? 38. Then standards on review engagement. How many standards on review engagement? 2. Then standards on assurance engagement, other than audit and review assurance, right? So that is standards on assurance engagement. How many are there? 3 standards on assurance engagement. And then you have the standards on the related services. And how many standards on the related services? We have the 2 standards on the related services. Right, so engagement standards 45, and then 1 standard on the quality control. Right, so I hope you understood this term, engagement and quality control standards. Right, engagement and quality control standards. And basically, audit is an assurance engagement. So when you're giving an assurance to someone, what are you doing? We discussed that yesterday. When you're giving an assurance, don't worry, everything will be fine. You're increasing the confidence of the intended users. Exactly. Right? You're giving them a confidence. Why? Because shareholders say, we don't know what the management, how they've prepared the financial statements. Then I told you shareholders cannot fill themselves in a truck and then go to the company and check the accounting. So that is why what the shareholders do, they appoint the management, the board of directors to run the company, and they also appoint the auditors. That auditors, you go on behalf of the shareholders, check the work which has been done by the management and give us a report on the same. That whether the financial statements of the company, are they correct or are they not proper, whether the accounting is not proper or so. Okay, right. Then after having our discussion regarding this engagement and quality control standards, we also looked into that we have these 11 chapters in our syllabus. Right, chapter number 1, which was nature, objective and scope of audit, right? The first chapter which we'll study over here. Right, then after that, you know the nature, objective and scope of audit. Now you prepare your audit strategy, your audit plan, your audit programming. That is chapter number 2. Once you've prepared your strategy, plan, program, then you do the risk assessment and internal control. Right? So you understand and verify the internal control system. Once you have done your risk assessment and internal control evaluation, then you do the obtain the audit evidence. And what did we say? What is evidence? Evidence, does it mean proof? No. One synonym for evidence could be, it is information. Exactly, information obtained by the auditor, right? So it is the information, so audit evidence. Then this audit evidence, we also said we have to obtain it for each and every item of the financial statement. So jumbo, big chapter over there, chapter number 5, which is audit of the items of the financial statement. Then it says when you're completing with the audit, there is some completion and review standards to be followed over there. Then whatever work you've done in the audit, you need to document either in the hard file or in the soft file, right? So that is audit documentation, right? Then obviously once you finish your audit, you have to issue the audit report, right? You have to issue the audit report, right? So that is up to chapter number 8. Chapter number 9 is the audit of the different types of entities like school, hospital, hotel, cinema hall, educational institution, NGO, charitable institution, trust, society, and so. Right? Then chapter number 10 is regarding your bank audit, the audit of the banks. And then chapter number 11 is regarding the ethics and the terms of audit engagement. Right? So what we have decided, one, we will discuss chapter number 1, chapter number 11, right? Then discuss chapter number 8. Right? 1 is your nature, objective and scope. 11 is your ethics and terms of the engagement. And then chapter number 8 is regarding the audit report. That is one set. Right? Then the second set which we have is of the audit strategy, risk assessment, audit evidence, completion, review, and so. And then the third set which we have is the audit. Then audit of the items of the financial statement, audit of the different types of the entities, and also the audit of the banks. And we said, no, we have these 3 audits. Audits of the items of financial statement, audit of the different types of entities, and the audit of the banks. Right? So first our target is now to complete with chapter number 1, then chapter number 11, and then come to chapter number 8. Okay, right. And then after having our discussion regarding the outline of our syllabus, we came to our discussion regarding the importance of auditing or the importance of the financial statements, or rather importance of audited financial statements. We said no, car, and car with the 4 rings, that makes all the difference. Right? So similarly, financial statements useful, but audited financial statements more credible. And what did we say? What is the importance of auditing? Auditing is a, what did we say? It's a gift to whom is it a gift to? It is a gift to the shareholders and to the investors, right? So why it's a gift? Because it is beneficial to the government, then also to the insurance